Hey everybody, welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Zinespiration. We got ourselves a very special guest tonight. You know me, I'm Ryan, and with me as always is Craig in Japan. Today we are talking to the incredibly talented and super well-respected Crash Reynolds. Welcome, Crash.
Yeah. Yes, thanks for coming, Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, for season two. You're our first guest for season 2. Thank you for joining us. We are very excited, Ryan and I. And let's get into this little chat about zines.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't watched the show before, we talk about zines, why we love zines, how we make our zines, zines we love to read, love to share, love to trade, and the inspiration behind it. So, Crash, why don't you tell us and everybody else how you got into zines?
So initially, I heard about them from a book that I read in junior high. I was probably like 13. And I started writing poetry immediately after I read that book and turned that poetry into a zine way back when. And then completely forgot about them until not too long ago. I think it was fall of 2017. Someone invited me to submit to a collab zine. And I was like, right, zines are a thing. And I totally was like, I should make one. And then I started making them.
What have you been working on recently then? Let's have a look at what some of your recent zines look like.
I'm not prepared for this. He's prepared for it.
Oh, there we are. Ryan's got a couple of your most recent ones. So these, tell us a little bit about these, Crash.
So the things that happen to Crash when she has a panic attack, from the title, it's already like from a disconnected point of view, which definitely happens to me when I have panic attacks. And I've been having more of them recently than I had been prior to the whole world falling apart thing, for obvious reasons. And then for things I do to self-soothe, I purposely tried to write it in first person to not be disconnected, to being in the present moment. So I don't know if many people would notice that just from the titles, but that's what I was going for with that.
Your zines are so relatable. And even though you don't seem to overshare a lot, in your online persona and everything, you really don't. You kind of, you have your life and you have your zines. It sounds, but your zines are so personal and relatable at the same time. Anybody can pick it up and feel like they know what's going on.
Yeah, I get that comment a lot. A lot of people, when they say they like them, it's because it's really raw and honest and relatable. Because I guess people just don't really talk about how they feel most of the time. At least not in an unfiltered way. But that's what I do with the zines. It's unfiltered. Because why would I want to share the sugar-coated version? It's not me. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm bad at that, actually. The worst. Don't come to me if you're looking for sympathy or pity. I'm like, ooh, sorry. Sounds shitty.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've received a few of your zines over the years, and I do love how honest they are and how open they are, and it really a theme that comes up a lot with these interviews and talking to zinesters is how zines really help everyone deal with a lot of their emotions and a lot of the way they think, feel, and are experiencing the world. So I'm really glad that you are as honest and as open as you are with your zines, and I think that's why they become so relatable to many out there. So thank you.
I'm actually kind of astonished by some of the messages I get, because when I started making zines, I never thought this many people would, first of all, pay me to receive one. That's weird. And also just like them. I don't know. That's weird to me as well. But like, it's like I'm mini, like mini famous, and it's very weird to me.
It's got to be kind of humbling too at the same time, right? Because like probably most zine creators, you just view yourself as you, and you're someone who creates, and that's what you do. I like, from my perspective, I'd gotten a message from someone on Instagram once that was at a zine fest and got talking about one of my zines with someone else that they didn't even know there. And I don't even remember these two people buying my zines, but they have them. And so they're telling me that this happened, and like, oh yeah, someone in California knew who you were. And I was like, that's kind of cool. But at the same time, like, how did that happen?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird how people around the world are connected and actually like know about each other just because of zines.
Mm.
And you're
I
super
love
respected in the zine community. Craig and I have talked to 12 or 13 different zinesters on this show, and your name comes up a lot from people, and always in a very positive way. Like, everyone's always got great things to say about your work. So please don't ever stop, because I don't know what any of us would do without it.
That's like the nicest thing I've heard all week. Like I know you've mentioned it to me before, but it's just like it's one of those things where I'm just like, that can't possibly be real.
We've got the video to show you if you need it.
No, okay.
What are you going to? What are you working on next? What's sort of next for Crash?
I've been working on a zine for like a year and a bit now, and it's like it's not that far in, and I don't really work on it per se. It just kind of it's partially done, and that's the current state. I just have like a pile of paper that is just like this is what it's gonna be. This page, for example, is just random things I've saved, like cardboard pieces that I'm like, I could use that for something. And I've used it for things that I've saved that I thought I could use for something. That's what that is. It's just, that's all it is. I just have papers of things that are in no order whatsoever. And it eventually will be sometimes human issue 4, but I haven't done anything with it.
So this is your process, huh? You just like get some pieces here and there, and just slowly put some pages together, and then wave a magic wand, and then bang, that's it. Like,
I've
tell
been
us about
working
it.
on that for like a year and a half because I don't know what to do it. Like every now and okay, first things first. I can't see things or imagine things in my head. So if you were to tell me to imagine an apple, I can close my eyes and I see the insides of my eyelids. That's it. No apple. Can't imagine anything. So there's no planning or imagining of zines that happens or drawings even. It's just, and I have nothing until suddenly I'm like, I can turn that into a zine. And then I just write it down and attach it to the paper as I've made it.
So tell us a little bit about this one. What's it called? The messy life. This is a zine I received a long time ago, and I really love it. It's got some really cool, like, it's a one-page zine that's been cut and folded and cut and folded and folded and into a little mini zine. But the artwork and the color on this is just beautiful. So tell us, how did this come about? How did this one come about?
So for that one, I have ink in little spray bottles, and I was using them to paint something else, and I had that piece of paper, like the original, like as the background. And then I was like, I could just put more ink and like I'll use that for something. Random things I keep that I'll use for something. And then I just kept it on the piece of like plastic I had for like 2 days. I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about how I want to be able to create messy, like this, like no planning. It's just all over the place. And like that's why if you unfold it and look at the other side, it just is. It looks like ink has seeped through the page.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a
Yeah.
little hard to hold up, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like
Yeah. So
I'd
that's the
sprayed
reverse
it.
side, and then that's the main side.
Yeah, it was like no planning. I had the paper that was painted, and then I left it in its spot for however long until I was like, I'm going to make a zine about how I want to be able to create things that are just messy and not worry about it, because I worry about it.
So what sort of
the quality of zines, these ones I got recently, something's different from some of those earlier Sometimes Humans, because these are really like, I really liked touching these when they came out of the envelope.
But that's the paper that you recommended me.
Oh, is it?
Because you really liked it.
I love this paper. It's so good paper. Oh, so nice.
okay, Crash. I want to know about your inspiration. Your artist inspiration. Maybe somebody you see on
I prepared
Instagram.
for this.
Nice. Well, please tell us. Please tell us about it.
This is the title of the show.
Okay. So for this one, I don't know their Instagram, but I know their Etsy is like Myrtle Chickpea, I believe.
Oh,
in Australia. And so like I just kind of like their style of the things people say, and it's just like just like a collage, but like a simple collage with a quote that says, what does it say? I'd rather not help them. Just things that they've overheard with like a simple collage.
Yeah.
And so like things like that, I'm always amazed at like how people just come up with that, because I can't see things in my head. So like anything visually put together like that, I'm like, how do they do that? So I always get like wowed by that. So another one is Bethany Fortner art. Bethany period Fortner period art. And they're an artist that turns them into zines, and they always have something like mental health related, but not always in like a very like slap your face, this is mental health, like more user friendly and personal. And it's always like almost like a self-reflection. But like it's just I just love their art. And they don't always make zines. A lot of the time they make art, but they're doing stuff on like garbage currently. Like things that most people would recycle or throw away, but they're like taking like a gum box and like opening it up and painting on it. And like that's their painting. That's the canvas. It's just it's amazing. You should check them out.
That's interesting.
But I'm always like they also were doing like drawings where it's one line that's continuous throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
that's just how. Another one I have is I believe it's Momo Mojo on Instagram. I believe. And the zines that they make that I've seen by them are very like just kind of like a hodgepodge of like they're just doing whatever. And I'm always inspired by hodgepodges and the collages and just like because I think too much. So it's nice to see people where they're not thinking too much about like overthinking about how they're going to do something. They just kind of like throw it on. And this, are you ready for this beauty? So this is from Mother Wart, like WORT, Mother Period Ward. And this is like a unique, one of a kind, like, this is the only copy of this. This is the original, and it's just like, oh, and it's just like the most beautiful thing ever. And oh, I'm just amazed by the things that people come up with, and like,
If you could collaborate with any zinester, Crash, who would you want to collaborate with?
you?
Oh,
Aww, you're the only person that I asked.
Is that because is this like some Canadian link or something? Or
No, it's because like
no, I know some other
I just-
Canadian zinesters, and most of them are pretty good, but they're not Crash Ryan good. Like, let's. And nobody likes us anymore.
it's more of just out of all the people, everyone in the zine community has like like we're all making zines because of like a mental thing, like like because we have weird neuroses, we're kind of crazy, or low OCD, we're super anxious.
Some of us don't realize it.
Yeah. He knows, but he's also like a nice guy, and he's funny. He's like the only person who tells dad jokes around me that I'm not just like like I actually laugh with some of the stuff he sends. And he's never gotten angry at me or asked me why I sound angry. So it's like, well, we could probably work together. Because that's the thing that usually holds people back. They either get angry and annoyed with me, or they always think that I'm angry and annoyed. That's just how I talk. It's just my face.
just how my face talks.
The reason why I looked so excited before was because I just remembered that I made my new Patreon zine. I'm super excited to just with the cool creativeness that I came up with, I made it look like garbage. So it was like a folded piece of paper, like a quarter fold, and then you put it in your bag and it got you know?
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this one. It was originally like this, but you put it in your bag and it's crumpled up and it's found art. It's so cool. Oh, sneak peek.
It looks like everything in my daughter's knapsack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really does.
But I actually crumpled it too, and I folded it along the thing, and it's dirty along some of the folds because the ink got on my fingers and then got on the.
Nice.
We need to come up with more garbage zines.
Garbage zine.
Yeah.
Well, that talk about the future of zines. We see so many zines that look similar, right? So quarter page, half page, folded, stapled, saddle stitch, stitched up, whatever. That right there, the one that you were just showing us, is really thinking outside the box. How to make your zine stand out, make it stand out. Find a way to make it stand out, right?
Do you know how I came up with that idea? I made it a part of it at work, and I folded it and put it in my bag.
Thanks very much for joining us today, Crash, and joining in with our episode 1 of season 2 of Zinespiration. Thank you very much, and we'll see you for the next one. Thanks, Crash.
Thanks,
Bye.
Crash.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy.
Okay.